Hello, everyone. Week three of the course, just checking in uh, as we proceed, getting into the course now, getting to the end of the first section of the course, looking at the so called Facebook experiment from quite a few years ago now. I think it was maybe about 8 years ago, and it became a scandal in 2014. So you can see what I've given you is just a bunch of newspaper articles of the time, commentary, and then maybe some later stuff that actually is a little bit more in depth, and the actual abstract to the paper that resulted, the research paper that resulted from the experiment. If we look at this week's assignment, I'm trying to mix up the assignments every week. Just have a variety of things to do. This is an essay question in which you're required to respond in a page or two. Remember, this is ungraded. As long as you write a response of the appropriate length, then you will get full credit. But it's kind of like a warm up for the first essay. You'll see that I'm asking you to write a short essay response to this question about the Facebook experiment, and then for essay one, you're going to have to go back to the week two material and write something in more depth about the week two material on the ethics of autopilot. I will release a video soon discussing this essay, but that's really what I had in mind. I am restricting the essay one subject to the week two material, the ethics of autopilot, pretty much because I'm asking you to do this week three essay question assignment on the Facebook experiment, and I didn't want to, basically make it a redundant thing. So you will have to write some sort of analysis on both of these issues. So really, these are very challenging. As I said in the video, these are very challenging things for both utilitarianism and Kantianism, I think. And I keep saying when we get to week four that things will change quite a bit. So I'll stop saying that. In your analysis of these issues, the autopilot one, the Facebook one, you approach it in whatever way you see fit. The brief survey of Kantianism and utilitarianism was simply something to say, well, there actually are kind of fairly simple approaches that you can take to these issues that are more formal, but they certainly don't replace your own native intuitive grasp of right and wrong, when ethical issues emerge, how they should be dealt with, but they're tools, utilitarianism and Kantianism, that we can use if we see fit. So that's where we are. Again, the week three essay question, it is ungraded. So just write a draft of a page or two in response to that question. That's all I'm really asking. And we'll take a look at the results in some kind of video when you do them next week. That is, I'll release a video where I'll just take highlights from what people wrote. If you do not want me to do that, that is, and it would be completely reasonable if you were to not want me to do that. But if you don't want me to highlight your work, just let me know. I mean, whenever I highlight student work, it's because I think it's good. Just to let you know, I would never, ever, ever publicly criticize any student's work. That's not what would be wrong. So if I do highlight your work in like a PowerPoint presentation, it's because I think it's really good and it sheds light on an issue. But nevertheless, if you don't want me to mention your work in an essay or in a video, just let me know and I won't do it. One other thing, just to let you know, I graded the quizzes, and you'll see that in the grade section of the Blackboard site here that the quiz ended up being worth 1 point. So it's a percentage of one. So if you didn't do too well in the quiz, and most people did, frankly, but if you didn't do too well in the quiz, it will have very little effect on your final grade. I didn't want people to think that it would actually be worth 11 points when it came to calculating the final grade. Like every weekly assignment, the quizzes will end up being worth 1 point. And although quizzes will be graded, it's pretty minimal in terms of final grade. Most of your grade for this course will depend on the regularity with which you turn in assignments and then how good your 3 essays are. So there we are. We'll be gearing up to our first essay due in a couple weeks, I guess. Don't know when it's due. It's due in a couple weeks. So we're gearing up to that, due October 18th. Right? So there's still time. And I will release a video next week in which I just say some things about essays, about this particular assignment. And that's it. I hope you're enjoying the course. I think these issues are actually really fascinating and very enjoyable and important in terms of the world. So, again, if you have any questions about the course, you want to talk about it, or you have any concerns, always feel free to contact me.